I just wanted to bring to light something I noticed. I was down the river, last March doing my usual stuff, and somebody drove a bobcat down there and plowed this beautiful estuary. It's protected land. The city of Marymount owns this land, and it's part of a scenic river system that was protected in 1968, meaning you're not allowed to go down there and do anything. There's no industry, you're not allowed to do anything, no dredging, nothing. Well, some stupid motherfucker went down there and they plowed a canal through this island in this estuary where the water would flow off into this area, and there's like a bunch of swamp willows and different things down there, and it really helps clean out the ecosystem. It's a beautiful area. There's the nicest beach in Ohio to just go and hang out on a nice summer day. The sand, nice soft sand. Well, it's gone. It's ruined. Somebody lost it. They went insane. It's a huge problem here in Cincinnati. It's schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is kind of like a big problem. Somebody fucking lost it, and they decided they had to drain the Little Miami Valley river system because we were having so much fun in it, with all that water, and it was too good, and they had to ruin it, and somebody did. Somebody actually ruined it. They went down there and they fucking ruined it. Kind of like when that cop, Ray Tensing, killed that dude. They just pulled him over, and this dude, Andy DuPont or whatever his name was, just said fuck the cop and drove away, and the cop shot him. And they killed that dude just because he drove away, and they shot him. And you want to know what happened? The judge let him go. The judge let the cop go because apparently the prosecution tried to prove that the cop was racist, and they weren't able to prove the cop was racist, so they had to let the cop go. They let the murder go because it wasn't racism. They forgot the fact that it was just straight up murder. And they let this murderer go because it wasn't racism. And there's just tons of schizophrenia like that happens all the time in Cincinnati, and this is one. So I just want you guys to study these photos and think about the consequences of what's happening, because that's why Cincinnati is so trashed. There's just this constant schizophrenia in this town that just they kind of control all these little random details that don't matter, and they just ruin. There are so many dumb people, and it's like there's this underlying schizophrenia here in this town of Cincinnati, and it's dangerous. I mean, you don't want it to get out. You don't want it to spread. Somebody has to do something. It has to be contained. It's not like this isn't one of those situations where we can just sit back and do nothing, because you have to do something. You can't, and that's why there's a problem. That's why I'm having a problem, because I can't just sit here and watch people just destroy this town that I live in. They're just killing people. They're ruining the water supply. I mean, there's a worldwide global drought. You can't go. There aren't very many places on Earth with water, with plenty of clean water. And this was one of the places where, things were good. And it's not going to be like that anymore in the future, and it's schizophrenia that's causing this. It's because now the liberals get to talk about their doomsday scheme, global warming, and all this shit, and I mean, no one's I know what happened. Somebody did something. I'm going to show you the pictures, but they're going to use this as an excuse to talk about how there's not enough water now, or the water's, because I grew up here. The water from the tap used to be clean. It was good. They're starting to it's starting to taste like chlorine and chemicals now. They're putting there's all kinds of shit in the water nowadays that didn't used to be there, and it just keeps getting worse. And this is the latest horrible, shitty thing that's gone on here that I want to talk about, because we need to undo it. All you gotta do is take the rocks down there and fill in whatever this area they did, because that area was holding back a ton of water. It flooded every year, and it's just not like that anymore. It's like it's amazing because last year, a year ago, everything was fine, and then somebody did this one act, and suddenly there's no water. The river is running dry. There's way less water. So first, look at these pictures of the way the river used to be, and then I have the pictures. I went down there with a DSLR and took some photos because when this first happened in March, like I wasn't carrying my phone around, so I couldn't take the initial photos where you could see the actual trail that the Bobcat made to get down to this specific spot. Like this area is constantly being flooded because we got a ton of rain here, and so it gets washed away. But so the trails are all still there, but the tire tracks for the Bobcat are gone. And the area that got dredged and the area that got plowed is messed up, and it's never going to be like that because they moved a ton of stone and rock around. I mean, you could fix the problem by putting a bunch of stone back where it had been removed or stolen from, and over time it's going to fill up with sand and sediment, and that's actually how you clean water. So that would explain why the water's dirtier than it used to be. So I just want you to look at these photos. I mean, this city sucks. You know, I don't get it. Like, there's crime. Like, anybody is liable to do anything to anybody here. Like, nobody, they don't give a fuck about anybody. And, like, somebody will break into your apartment and fuck with you till the cows come home, and nobody's gonna ever do anything about it. You're not gonna be able to do anything about it because you're gonna be at work making money to pay rent. And now, now this, it's like the water. Now the water's going downhill, and it says right on the Justice Center, a city saved by the genius of water. But this happened, and that's not the case because the water here sucks right now, and that's just a fact. And I know that. I mean, I'd pray to God in heaven above that they would allow us the opportunity to go down there and undo this foul these like atrocities. I mean, it's Bass Island too, upriver. That got cut off. There's a creek, so Bass Island's gone now. It's now part of Newtown. So that's what they're doing. They're grabbing land up there, and it's ridiculous. These people are fucking out of control. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. They don't listen to anybody. They don't care about anything. They just do whatever they want, and they'll kill anybody to you know finish their means. I just wanted to clarify that it took me so long to get this out because one, I thought somebody would do something, and two, I was so angry when it happened that it's just kind of like, blind rage. Just like kind of like, what the fuck? You raise awareness, go around and talk to people, but it's. I first noticed this in March and September. It didn't work. And two, I've been having problems with my phone where the GPS signal and the frequencies have been messing with me, and it's causing problems. And also, I take photos. Like, I went down there with the phone a couple times and took photos with the phone. And I'm having issues with this phone right now where it deletes certain photos. So I went down there and took a bunch of photos with the phone, and they all were corrupt, and I couldn't use any of them. So I had to find the DSLR, get the memory cards, and do all that shit. And, stuff like that just takes time. Trust me, just take a quick drive around the city yourself, and you'll see the trash, the dilapidated buildings, all the bullshit. Like, and this is what it's from. It's not like this is the first time anything like this has happened. This has been going on for centuries. Cincinnati was, it used to be called Lisanaville, and then like the Italians and the Romans came and created Cincinnati, and they just keep, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like this big evil thing that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and growing, and it just gets shittier and shittier. The lies get deeper and deeper. They lie more and more and more. It's unending. They can't stop it. They can't help it. It's kind of sad because it's like people are just letting this happen, and they expect us to sit here and like they want everybody to just like play with their dicks or something, and it's like you get tired of playing with your dick. It's like or what, I don't know what they want you to do. It's like we had clean water and now we don't. It's not a complicated issue. This is not a complicated issue. So here's the pictures of the river before schizophrenia happened, and somebody fucking lost it and decided that we should not have clean water. I found some more photos from April where the tire tracks are still there, and it's flood season and there's like no